Appreciate your time, Frank. This gentleman has done wonders for sim racing, the real world racers that come into sim racing or go back and forth. Frank's responsible to get some guys out on track. So without further ado, Mr. Frank Swartz, Grass Paddock Motorsports, tell us what you do.
What do we call this thing? The Raycing Line. I'm all out of sync. We got more people to deal with this week than what I'm used to. So thanks to my co-host, Jason, for joining us. Adam's back this week. And as you can see, we got a fourth sitting here. Megan Oversheet is already joining us to help us do some reviews and stuff. So thank you, Megan.
Let's go, Megan.
And help us. Good evening, Greg.
Good evening, gentlemen.
Hey, we're just getting ready to review the spec racers, and since we had an announcer in the waiting room, we thought we'd go ahead and bring you in.
Well, thank you very much.
There he is.
Hey, we got him.
Hey, Jason, we got you this time.
Cheers, guys. Thanks for having me.
We won't talk about the other time.
Our special guest for the evening, Mr. Dave Ogburn, and for Dave to introduce you to these two knuckleheads, you got.
Great to see you, Thor. Welcome to the fourth chair and the podcast this week.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. It feels surreal, like finally being able to talk to you guys. You know, I've been in this league for like what 2-3 years, and yeah, finally face to face.
Yes, our first guest.
Jeff.
I'm on the spot now, Jeff. So, welcome, Mr. Jeff Jacobson. Again. Great to have you here. Thanks for taking some time out to join us. We get to some fun part. That's why you're here, Jerry. This is our guest segment after the reviews. So thanks for sitting through with us. And
that was fun.
And
thanks.
Yeah, it's some good racing. So, well, first of all, we gotta say thank you to Trenton for taking time to come join us. He's one of the hardest working guys I know, and you can look there in the shop behind him and get an idea of what he does. So, as everybody sees, we've got Darren Ganji, and if you didn't know already, he is Mr. Sim Motion, where you can get all your sim rigs and equipment and everything. He's also the sponsor of that league we were just talking about.
Okay, go ahead.
Mr. Sean Ambrose, we go back forever, back to the very early beginning days of the Weekend Warriors, when it was broadcasted on another broadcast, GSRC, I don't mind saying it. Very good to us, and Sean was one of the producers, announcers, always great to talk with. So,
Mr. Edgar Sancinelli, Weekend Warrior, Frito Sport Racing. I don't know what all you do, but great to have you join us tonight, Edgar.
Yes.
I'm not saying shit. Oh, see, I literally. Whatever, I give up.
There you go.
I know you've had a mute for me. So.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, when you
Yeah.
just for the views when Adam and you were there. I mean, it's jeez.
Oh yeah.
Greetings all. Welcome to another edition of the Racing Line. This one is episode 21, finally. We had to skip last week. I had some issues between Adam and myself. And so now we're still on 21 and holding. So good
Don't
to see
ever
everybody.
don't ever factory reset your PC, guys. It's not recommended at all. Don't do it.
Yeah, I was still recuperating. No, yeah, my
Yep.
surgery last week. So, yep, all good. So, looks like we've got our guest already in the fourth seat. Hope you're comfortable, Keri.
I am.
Welcome.
Thanks.
Good to see you.
Likewise. Thanks for having me.
Jimbo says my volume's too low.
I got you. Yep, I'm gonna fix all of our volumes except mine are too low. So let's try that.
How's that going, Jimbo?
Oh, still
Does it hear me any better?
not used.
So,
Yeah, don't make
Yep.
Stevie talk too loud.
yeah,
This boosts his volume to the max.
slam the door and yeah. So,
Huh.
so
Give me
yeah,
a second
no,
here, guys. We
all
got this.
good. Adam got a new haircut. Yeah, he did.
Yes, yeah. Unfortunately, it was getting a little bit too long, but I'm getting there. Just give me some time.
Yeah. Well, we had a little discussion on was it Facebook this week about our chat crew? We've been trying to come up with a name, and I think the one so far is our keyboard racers. What do you think?
There you go. I like it.
Keyboard racers, RayCer, just like the racing line. So
Absolutely.
Maybe that's what we'll call, huh?
I like it.
Yeah. All right. What's so funny,
Oh.
JG?
That's so bad. I love it.
Yeah. So, all right. How we doing, Adam? You all set for some playbacks, some highlights?
Yeah, we are. Stevie, just keep doing your best here, man. I'm trying to get your volume up just a little bit more if I can here.
Uh-oh. Keri's Murakami flag.
Oh yeah.
There. Yeah.
It's a
Does have
Miata.
the,
It's a Miata flag.
There you
yeah.
go. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a little more context there.
I
Yeah.
don't know if you've seen our Weekend Warriors group. Chris Murakami, obviously Oriental descent. He lives up in Seattle, I believe. Seattle or Portland, somewhere up in
A
there.
fellow
Midwest.
Washingtonian.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
Northwest.
And his car is a total Japanese rising sun flag, just like that. So
Is it an FRS? What
FR,
kind of car is it?
What he does it with the Spec Racer
Yes.
Ford,
Yeah.
and does he do it with the Formula?
Okay.
Yeah, in
Yeah,
our
pretty
Weekend
much
Warriors series.
every car he drives, he rocks that paint.
Yep.
Ye-
So,
Love it.
yep. Good guy. All right, how we coming along, bud?
Keep going, Stevie. Keep talking. We're
Keep
getting there.
going.
Keep talking. You're almost
We'll
there.
get there.
Keep going.
Yeah.
Keep talking.
My gaming computer is
There we
still
go.
on the fritz, so I am still using my laptop. So if I start stuttering or freezing a little bit tonight, you guys will know why. But I did change from Wi-Fi to the Direct Connect, so maybe that'll help a little bit.
We're good.
Adam and I had a little fight with the update and didn't get it fixed. So I've got a brand new computer on the way, hopefully at the end of this week. So maybe I'll get back on track.
Hope so.
Fingers
So
crossed. Yeah,
with-
it's been
yeah,
we were talking earlier. I feel like it's been forever since I actually talked to you, Stevie.
yeah.
So it just
I haven't
been not doing the
happened to
podcast.
pass on the
and-
racing line last week
Yeah.
and all that. I was in the booth this weekend with these guys I
love that.
I was scratching the itch. I couldn't get on track, so we had to do something. So that was a lot of fun. And speaking of the Weekend Warrior guys, sounds like we're ready.
We're ready.
How
I
about
think
some
we got
highlights?
us all worked out. Sorry, Jim. Hey guys, like I said before, and I'm gonna say it, I'm gonna repeat it. Don't ever factory reset your computer. All right. Up onto the FVs. Here we go. By the way, these are all the first time I've seen this because you want to talk about it now or after we get into the videos about the Daytona 24 that Ray Esports got into? That's why Jason decided to try to run a FV after running a GTP.
Mm-hmm.
So that was fun, but we'll talk about that.
He didn't get enough.
It's pretty much the same car.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, yeah. It's totally the same.
Yeah.
All right.
Same
Onto the
points,
FVs.
Yeah.
I mean, you do get practice without AVS, so.
That's true.
So here we go. Here's some Formula V's. Jason, you're on.
Yep. Formula V's at Thruxton, which was a I don't know. From a driver's perspective, it's a little bit of a slog. This track is it's a minute 33 lap time, but it has essentially two corners. That's the first one, which we all let's go. Everybody makes it through clean.
Right.
Are you rocking the new paint?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. You'll see
new
it in a
new
second.
epic livery from made by a certain Adam Thompson.
Yep.
Wow.
What do we have this week? We had a small grid for this one, didn't we?
We still had 30.
Yeah,
30?
the FFs
Okay.
were a bit smaller around Thruxton.
That's
but
right. Yep. Then we made up for it with the spec racers.
Yeah.
No joke. Say 3 wide for the lead, 4 wide for
Yeah,
6.
check out
for
some
the-
of this racing, Kerry. You'll
Uh-oh.
I say that, then we do that. So
Yep.
So actually, fun fact, last week my mom texted me the link to last week's broadcast and said, there's some interesting action going on. You should watch
Yeah.
it, especially the
Yep.
last lap of the first race.
Uh-huh.
For anyone
this
who
one.
missed last week's broadcast.
this
Yep.
is the Saturday Formula V, guys.
Sorry for the spoiler.
Oh yeah.
Hey, we tease that. We got a good final lap.
Oh man, the curb on the exit curb there.
Is that yep.
One of the two places you've got to break in a Formula V around here.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no.
Yeah.
And then they got together.
Chris just it kind of looked like Chris thought Ewan would back out.
Clear. Yep.
Last lap.
Guido!
Guido's been lurking in the background.
He does that a lot.
Yep.
Yep.
He
Sit there
drove
and
a
watch
really,
that, and then
really smart race.
that is Jason in the green and black car, by the way, Kerry.
Oh,
Just
nice.
Ooh.
Oh no. Bye.
Sorry, Monty.
See, that's why I told you. I was like, just right there. Oh.
That's good. That's good.
Wow. Oh, Jason!
Oh,
Skill issues.
No!
No. Right
That's
before
one of
the
those.
finish.
Yeah, that's one of those moments where you go from just elation to oh no.
Yes.
Hero to zero.
Oh yeah. It's right before I lost it, I was like, oh okay, I won.
No.
And then the car gets caught on the curb. But yeah, Ethan drove a great race as well as Guido. And let's go.
Ethan or Spec
Oh,
2
yeah.
guy, right?
Yes.
Takes
he
the
is.
overall
That's-
win.
Yeah.
He's spec 2, but he's every time he races with us, he's always really, really quick.
He's
In
another
other
real
words-
world guy, isn't he?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Maybe not eligible for Spec 2 next season.
yeah.
No.
But this was this
bonk,
was so
bonk.
good to the last chicane.
There's Jason.
Super clean until I have some run into some skill issues.
Good save.
Yep.
Yeah.
I was just trying to get out of their way. I was trying not to collect Guido or Ethan.
Yeah, we always have a demo
Yeah,
derby
you can just
afterwards.
keep
of
it
some
keep it
sort.
playing out.
Okay, we'll keep playing for a minute.
Because Josh and Ron had no idea that we were doing this.
Dun, 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 dun.
Look at all of them go flying. That is awesome.
We
one
definitely
way or another.
planned it out in advance.
Cool.
We didn't think it was gonna be that beautiful though.
Yep.
It was
That was good.
incredible.
Shout out to Joshua Wilkie for the slow motion shot on that as well. It makes it even better.
Yeah.
On board with Wayne.
On board airborne. There's Jorg. Yeah, we always have some fun at the end. Some kind of demo derby, one or jump or something, one way or another.
So real quick here, Jason, I saw your incident, and with the first one, and I just want to point out that what happened to you at Thruxton. Okay, you remember a Lime Rock race not too long ago? Where
I think we raced there, yeah.
Yeah, I think so. Where I kind of did the same thing, shot it up the middle there, and I mean,
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that was more me giving you all the room and you still running me off the road.
No. I'm talking about the four wide. I'm talking about the four wide going into turn one.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's when Thor.
Yeah.
I can't remember who was. It was left and right. I was in the middle, and they both started closing in.
And
it caused a massive wreck going down the straightaway there. So I mean, that's just the kind of stuff that happens.
Yeah, and it was because I thought Ethan was going to try to box me in behind Monty, which he tried to do a little bit, but he ended up leaving room.
Yeah.
So I had to keep it as close to Monty as possible. So I looked away, looked over to my left after making sure I had enough room to Monty to see where Ethan was. And by the time I looked back, Monty had been drifting over to the left a little bit. And yeah, we just got tangled up. Luckily, he's still he just got sent off into the grass. But it's not that's something that I was trying to do, of course. But
So
could have been
real
worse.
quick, Keri is from our Club Racing League on Wednesday nights. I'm not sure how familiar you are with the Weekend Warriors, our classes that are displayed. Do you know how those work, Keri?
I followed along a little bit after we did that big grid for the launch of Tempest. So I know you guys typically try to draw like big fields, big grids with that group, but I admit I'm not as big of a fan of like the Spec Racer Ford. I find it to be a little temperamental. Well, it's challenging. I have a skill issue. I'm fully admitting it. I love sports cars, so.
We've got 3 classes in all 3 of the different leagues. They're all set up the same way.
Oh, okay.
You see the red highlights there. Those are the Spec 1 guys, the advanced guys. They're above. They're 3,500 I rating and above. So the green is the Spec 2. They're below 3,500. And those yellows that are spotted through there are us old guys over 60.
AKA Masters, right?
That's
the one.
So you'll see the color coding on all 3 of our leagues, and that's how they're broke down. And for anybody else that is watching that's not familiar, but that said, I didn't step on your toes too long, Jason. But Adam, go ahead.
Yep. Real quick. Hey Dan. Hey Edgar. Hey Michelle. And Jim throwing shade at you there just a little bit. Keri saying, I bet you she hasn't tried the new tire model yet in the SRF. So
no, called out. It's sustained. That's valid.
It's a good point. Yeah, if you haven't tried the SRF so far this season, Keri, definitely give it a try. It's
all right.
The new tire model is way better. It is so much more fun this season.
Noted. Well,
Edgar
you might have just talked me into it.
Yeah, Edgar saying Keri and Ian are pretty good in the TCR and the GT4s as well. So
we like it. That's our jam. That's where I started when I first built my sim. I joined Lucky Dog Sim Racing League, and so we did GTE and TCR, but it was multi-class with GT4 and TCR. So Ian drove GT4 and I drove TCR. So this is essentially most of what we've done.
Yeah.
So. It makes sense. It's our comfort zone.
Yeah.
Hey, Ed, I know Ed's asking questions about what we were just talking about, Stevie, and this is the issue that we run into with this kind of stuff is we only try to allot ourselves an hour, and these highlights take some time, and then we got to try to get to the guests as well. I wouldn't have a problem with covering the support races, but Ed, if you know of anybody that could edit some videos for us, send them our way, buddy.
Yeah. Do somebody that can do the videos for the club racing, and we'll get them added, and maybe we'll have to bump up our podcast to an hour and a half. We typically run about an hour and 10, hour and 15 anyway, so it wouldn't be too much of a stretch. But yeah, I agree. We definitely need to get the club racings going in here.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
There you go with the Formula Fords, by the way.
Yep. Brexton again, but this time it's throwing in a little bit of rain. It wasn't raining for the race, but the track was still a little damp. It almost kind of got dry at the very end of the race, but it was still very, very treacherous conditions for everybody except for that yellow car there.
Yeah.
That guy, I don't know what he was doing. Well,
he started in the back, right? He started dead last.
So he qualified.
Was it on purpose?
No.
Oh, it wasn't?
No, he was trying to. So Ian was trying to he was messing with his setup, and he got his setup to get pushed. It pushed it out of spec. So he had to pull his setup in, and then he still had quali fuel in. So he trying to add fuel, and he didn't have enough time to get to the grid.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I
that's
assumed he
Ian
did it on
Joyner
purpose.
right there. So, yep.
Yeah, so this is pretty much just the Ian Jordan highlights for this race because he just passed everybody and just crazy stuff like that. I don't know. He doesn't do it on this lap, but he was taking that exit curve sometimes, and
You'll
I have
see
no
him.
idea how he did that.
Well, you'll see him on a couple of these highlights. He gets loose going into that corner because he's taking that exit curve, but he finds
right here.
that, and he finds a way to hold it. It's crazy.
Slides
Drifts
right on through it.
Because you'll see a little bit later what happens when I just hit the paint there.
Or Trenton.
Yep. Trenton.
Dan, we'll talk about the RESMB team for Daytona here at the end of this, I promise.
Watch the save, though. No idea how you got back on the track.
Yeah.
Skill issues.
Wait for it, though. Wait for it.
Who's that? That's Joshua, right?
I don't know.
Yeah.
No, that's me.
It's somebody with an awesome paint job, I can tell you that.
Yeah.
A green paint job?
Mm-hmm. Didn't actually realize Monty did this until I watched the broadcast.
Yeah, that's how Ian got past Monty so easy.
We were pushing so hard to make it as difficult as possible for Ian to catch us, and as soon as he catches us, all three of us spin.
It seemed like as soon as Ian got up to the top three, one by one, you guys would just go out of his way and let him go.
I got to stop this for 1 second, and this is a thing that I do with Trenton now, and Trenton does it to me. So, Trenton, I hope you're watching this broadcast right now, or this podcast, but we're going to come to right about here, and we're going to watch this again. Hey, Trenton, be better. That's all I'm going to say.
Called out.
Yeah, Trenton and I, we saw the side of our each other's cars a whole lot.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't raining, right?
No,
you didn't have rain coming down. It was just wet track.
Yeah, just the wet track.
And
Keri
again.
Cindy said, Keri, you can see right here why I sent the link from Wednesday. It really is something to spectate, and my hat goes off to the FV driver. So there you go, Keri.
I told you. She messaged me and said, have you seen this race? She was like on the edge of her seat watching. She told me the highlights. I had to go and watch the race because my mom messaged me.
We even had a small crew. This was 20. Usually the Formula Fords are about 30, 35. So it was really small grid this week. And I think the Daytona 24 had something to do with it.
Yeah, for sure. This battle was heated.
Nuts. It was nuts. And so Ian did admit, I will say, we'll finish this and I can tell you what Ian said. Oh, hey, Trenton, be better, by the way.
But you noticed that I'm behind him again.
Yes.
Because y'all missed it, but I spun again after Trent's previous spin. So
I
didn't miss it, Jason. I just didn't show it.
Okay. Gotcha. But yeah, it's
Adam was running the cameras for this.
Look at that. How does he not spin there?
I don't know.
Yeah,
He's fully on the curb. But what were you saying about what Ian?
Oh yeah, so Ian did say when he got his setup back into spec because he was messing because he knew it was going to be wet. So he got it back into spec, and as the track started to dry out at the end, he couldn't hold on to it like this. He was like, that's why Jorg was staying so close.
Yep.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
The way he makes it work, it's like the tofu water technique. Speedy, speed boy.
Yeah.
And he watches Initial D.
They had quite a battle up there for
This is the one issue with Thruxton, I will say. It is so hard to pass. And if you hold that inside line through that final chicane, you've got the win. You can't do anything about it.
Yep. So Ian, back to front.
Yep.
That's
works a little bit.
Crossover. Yeah, but
he tried it.
Yep, not enough.
Monty not get the run. Yeah, Ian kind of parked it on the apex of church a little bit. It killed Monty's run.
Monty sent it right there, trying to.
Look how close he gets. Look how close he gets.
Yeah, he got right there.
Yeah, well, amazing driving from both of them.
Monty's one of the masters, by the way, Keri.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they're making it look easy. I mean, the
It's not.
average person watches this and thinks, "Oh, I can do that," but then
Yep.
they get loaded in a session, they can't even make it 3 corners.
Yeah.
Not without considerable practice.
That was a great race, by the way, across the line as well, Jason. Glad I
Mm.
got to get that. I mean, there weren't that many battles. I think we get back to the Jackson battle. I hope.
Mm-hmm. No, that was next to me. It was Paul
Okay.
Jackson and Kevin Adrian. I was just trying to stay out of their way, to be
Yeah.
honest.
Yeah, here it comes.
If going down the
Didn't-
runway.
Didn't have as big of a demo derby because we were all out of fuel, but yeah. At least Ian only won by 0.2 this time instead of 20 seconds. So there's that.
Yep. Yeah, I think Ian is missing the other guy right about now by the name of James Berry. So I think Ian's he's quick, man. There's nothing else we can say. But congrats, Ian, on your P1 again. Even though you didn't mean to start from the back, I'm glad you did because it at least gave some people some other chances.
Nope.
Jorg, again, dude, man, just BS1 at this point. Come on now, Jorg. What are you doing, dude? And Chris Montgomery, great job in Spec 2, man. P5 as well. That's great job.
That's good.
Very quiet drive, but that's what you have to do in the rain.
Yep.
Just stay out of trouble and not spin.
And here we go. This one was fun.
Thunderdome time.
What was the grid size here? Tell Keri.
58.
We had 58 in the session. I think 55 took the grid.
At Summit Point.
Yeah.
You'll see the cars still coming over the top of the hill back there, Keri. It never stops.
That's back to the good old days for the Weekend Warriors. We had 55, 60 every week.
And to everybody's credit, we actually do make it through turn 1.
That turn 1, yes.
Turn 1.
Turn
1.
2?
I mean, yeah. And things start to go a little bit awry.
Yeah, it's too many cars.
No. Oh.
So easy to do with the cold tires now.
Yep.
Hey Jim,
They
the
do
video
have
was
more
messed up.
effect.
The video was messed up, Jim, on the SRF broadcast because there were 58 cars trying to render this type of crash on any computer, no matter what computer you have, will not work while you're running overlays and trying to stream. It just won't happen.
I mean, there's so many people still in the race because there's just so many people on grid.
Yep. But you notice like Claudio Gardini's already up 13, Paolo's up 13.
Way in the back.
Oh,
Here we
yeah.
go again.
More issues.
Yep. But we had quite a good race up front with 5.
It was
okay.
good.
What's this?
It's the next one, I think.
Our previous guest of the podcast, Yanchi, doing what he described, trying to cause a little bit of chaos.
Getting a little loose.
A great save from Matt there.
Yep.
Yeah. Matt Thompson, one of the Friedel Sport drivers.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Little tie for fastest lap.
Yeah, that was crazy. I think we had Stevie in there going, hey, what do you do if this holds? Because they said it at the exact same time.
Yeah. Yeah, the quickest lap was a dead heat.
And
Here comes John C.
Oh, no.
Yanchi says, thank you very much. Goodbye.
Yep.
The top 4 cars got together, bang, and Yancey in 5th kind of just drove through. Here's a replay.
Yeah. Yancy takes a look down the inside. I think he
They missed the braking points.
Daniel, Daniel runs over everybody.
Oh, no. Is this the re-entry?
Yep.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Oops, sorry, Stevie. Oops.
Yeah. Not Sol's best decision there, but I won't hold it against him. He's everybody makes mistakes, and he's a super, super clean driver and a really, really good guy. So we talked about it. And it's fine.
I think that's a benefit of league racing is some of that benefit of the doubt. If it was your only encounter in a official race, you would be like,
Yes.
that person stinks, and then
Yeah.
move on
Yeah,
with your life.
exactly.
Well-
Yeah, that's we do our best to take everything into account there when we're looking at incidents.
Jason does a review after each of the Weekend Warrior League races, this and the Formula Fords, and in Discord. And we've had, 20, 30 people in there at a time
Mhm.
and go through all the incidents in the race and have a discussion. So
Yep.
anybody's always welcome to join into that every week, and they go through it, and it's a pretty good thing.
Mhm.
That's
Yeah,
huge for culture building and for
Mhm.
fostering like the diplomacy between the drivers.
exactly. Yeah, it's been lost track of how many times we've been able to just have people talk it out or see each other's point of view and be able to de-escalate some tensions there between people.
The
That's
ones
a lot
that
of work.
Yeah, the people that aren't there, the ones that don't get discussed and need to have a warning or something, they pass on to the admins, to me, and then we get in touch with them by email. So, but
But
yeah,
it's a lot of work to do
It's-
that. I mean,
it
you take
is.
the time to review the protests and read one person's perspective and then investigate it and then give feedback, maybe even to both sides.
Yep. Yeah. Jim's
This
saying that we
the
do the same thing with the club racers.
Yeah.
This is the race for the Spec 2 win. Matt's doing his best to hang on. Dan's trying to catch up.
That race was just never ending action everywhere. The whole race. It was fun one to be in the booth with these guys.
Mm-hmm.
Great drive from Yancy. Felix almost caught him at the very end. He needed like one more lap, I think.
Here's a little push to the finish.
Well, you'll see what's about to happen.
Push to the jump. Felix ran out of fuel, so I thought I would. I finished at what 33rd.
Help Felix get to the jump.
Had a drive through as well, so I had a little bit extra gas, so I was thought I would help him out.
Oh no!
Unfortunately, Felix does not know where the jump is.
Nope, that wasn't the good one.
Trying to push him in the shadow realm.
Yeah. Jim says that was the sound control jump. That's where Andrew Love works every time.
Oh yeah.
Jim Aiken?
Hmm?
Jim Aiken?
No.
Brewster.
Brewster.
Jim Brewster.
Oh, Jim. Oh, I misheard the name. Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Shout outs to Trent. Let's go. That great podium. Antonio as well. Drove a really good race. Also notable is he. Shout out to Andrea in P18. He gained 37 positions, I think.
Yeah, that's nuts.
But he also was the only 0x in that race.
Wow.
So he started at the very back of that mess and had 0 inks
Mm-hmm.
for the entire race. Let's go, Andrea. He's getting really, really good at doing that. Because it's usually a kind of a issue or
sore subject.
Yeah,
Yeah.
let's call it that. With people starting in the back and causing chaos, but Andrea is usually super, super clean about how he does it. So let's go, Andrea.
All right, here we go. Back to everybody can see our beautiful faces here. So, hi guys. Oh no! Oh yeah, you got to do all that stuff too. So
let's see if I can share the right screen.
Oh yeah, Flavio. That was actually most of the SRF highlights. Flavio and Mani had an incredible battle at Zolder 2 weeks ago. That didn't we didn't have the podcast that week. So but yeah, that did make it most of the SRF highlights, Flavio.
So here's our championship standings, and Spec Racer Fords, Felix, Jason, and Trenton, all within 32 points. So everybody's still in striking distance. Then Dan has come up on top of the Spec 2. Paolo Brami's not too far behind. Dan Salmon hanging in. Masters. If you look to the left, you see what their ranking is overall in the league. So Jorg is 4th overall, first in the Masters. he is checked out with the championship for the Masters.
Yeah, it's almost like he should probably be in Spec 1.
Yeah.
Gee,
Jorg, if you've listened.
Yeah. There you go, Jorg. You keep getting that little. He is one of the younger old guys. I will say that.
Oh, yeah.
So, yep. So, Chris Murakami rounding out the Masters podium there. Formula Ford 1600s. If you notice, Ian Joyner's on top of the Spec 1. However, he's second overall, as you see there.
Yep.
So there's Ian, Jason, and Michael McConnell.
I wonder who's first overall, Stevie.
Well, I think we'll probably get to that in a second. Jeff Lubker, Boris, and Jeff Jacobson running off the Spec 2 guys, and they're pretty tight. That's what, 23 points spread?
And I think Jeff Jacobson didn't run last weekend, so he's down a race as well.
Yeah, that's another thing to consider, how many races these guys have. So, and we're getting to the halfway point this week. And G. Willie Willikers. Look at the number 1 next to
Weird.
Yeah, Monty has not had a bad race yet this season. Ian has had one at Brands Hatch where he had issues on his pit stop. He took tires instead of fuel. So yeah,
that's saying something when Jorg is out front of Ian Joyner.
Yeah, I think Monty has had I want to say at least top 5, maybe even a podium every race so far. Overall podium. Yeah, he's been crushing it this season.
And yeah, he's going to make it 3 for 3, because if you look at the next row over in Formula V Masters, there's Jorg Monty on top again.
Yep.
So
sweep.
Yeah, he's sweeping them.
Now,
look who's at top of the Formula V Spec 1 guys.
That's what I wanted to bring up real quick. Let's talk about sweeps real quick here, Jason. So I'm looking at the points. Obviously, drop weeks and stuff, they're going to change us around quite a bit. But I'm kind of starting to look at maybe a sweep here. Maybe are you thinking the same thing or no?
No chance. No chance. The Formula Fords, I won't be in the top 3 probably.
Okay.
I've gotten super lucky the last 2 weeks to be able to get a podium, but that's doing way better than my paces in that car. So yeah. And then for the Formula Fords, Formula Vs, Tor was having a lot of fun racing go-karts in Japan instead of racing with us. So he's down a race. So yeah, it's he's really still ahead of me in that one. So
I will say
it should be close.
I don't check in on the Discord as much as I should. I mean, I keep up on it. I can see the messages coming through on my phone at work. And Tor obviously going to race in Japan and all that stuff. And he did say, he called you out specifically, Jason, saying, I will still be racing for that championship. So he ain't going anywhere yet.
Tor's not giving up. No.
Yeah, Tor is such a good guy. I love racing with him. Yeah, it's super hard racing, but super clean racing. So yeah, he's a
real world Formula V racer as well.
Yep.
It's a big deal. I mean, especially in sim racing.
Yep.
Right. Yeah.
Look who we've got on top of the Spec 2 class.
Let's go, Michelle.
Michelle! Are you coming back up to Spec 1 with us, Michelle? Or are you going to stay down there? Because if you're down there, I'm coming back down there with you, Michelle.
Uh-oh.
Calling her out. Calling her out.
Travis Rell, one of our new guys, up in second. Dan Stasinski hanging tight, only 1 point behind Travis. And I don't think Dan has done all the races either.
Yeah,
he'll tell us in a minute.
Get that many points. Come on, Brian. You need to.
Yeah, Brian. What the hell,
what's going
Brian?
on, man? But yeah, Michelle's doing a great job of avoiding anvils.
So far, don't say that. Don't say that too much.
But
Michelle just said, "Hell no."
Avoid the knock on. Hurry.
Yeah, no kidding. So, all right, and let's see. Stop sharing, and we are back.
Well,
all right.
Quickly, let's get through. We got some people asking Dan about the Daytona 24 that the team did. We did very well, I would say, at least for my standards. First of all, we had fun, which was the big thing.
First time doing it.
Yep. So
we finished.
We finished. Yes. Massive shout out to Tyler Brown, who will never watch this podcast. Tyler Brown drug us through. He came in pretty much very close behind Simon Mayer. Took some stints throughout the day and then finished us out. So Tyler's the one that took us across the line, but Josh Wilkie as well. Jason and Simon Mayer and myself, we started in 22nd and we finished in 9th. We could have finished 8th, but I'll take the blame on that. The last 2 stints at 2 a.m., my eyes were closing and I found a couple walls. So that one was on me. But yeah, massive shout out to that team for being able to do that for 24 hours. It was a lot of fun.
Yep. Always
Awesome.
incredible.
Yep.
Yeah, I was just really bummed that I couldn't participate with you guys.
Yeah.
Initially had me on the team, but I decided to try to rebuild a computer and screwed that to pooch to wherever.
You know, Bathurst is coming up, Stevie. So you need to get your PC running by then.
Can we talk
I
about
got a new one? I got a new one coming the end of the week. So
Yep.
Why don't we talk about that real quick? And I promise we're going to you, Keri. But Stevie, you're a man that can't seem to sit still and can't seem to try to find something else to do. So I believe Jason and I and you are taking on a new venture here, and we're making a team, are we?
yes.
Yeah, thinking about it.
So far,
And then, and
It's,
I guess
kind
on
of a-
that line, we I don't know if we have any GT4 or TCR drivers, Keri. So you know,
Keri.
if you're in need of like a team, we could
we
I
have
don't
to
have
pull
any
it away
commitments.
from Darren.
So
I'm
we'll have to talk
available.
about that.
Yeah,
Oh
I
yeah.
mean,
Oh yeah. I thought we'd have to pull you away from Darren.
I mean, let's be real. I live in Spokane. Darren's in Spokane. He sells sim parts. I'm not going anywhere.
Cool.
Um, so, but I think it's fair to say that everyone within my orbit, my echo chamber,
Yep.
has heard loud and clear that I'm really I'm excited, glad, thankful, and am enthusiastically involved with sim motions. So I think it's
Yep.
safe to say I can branch out and
Yep.
explore some new talent and see where
Yeah.
I fit into
Some
this.
different classes.
I
Yeah.
I'm not picky on car and setup, and I'm a good team player, and I usually don't have incidents. I didn't get taken out. I did not thankfully find any walls at Daytona. I survived 7
Lucky.
stints in the
Shots
GT3
fired.
Porsche.
Lucky.
Yeah. So
I know,
I mean,
but
so you
I
did better
wasn't
than us.
flawless. I
Yeah.
still got 39 incidents. I got roughed up by GTPs my first stint.
Oh, yeah.
Holy.
Yep.
And
Yep.
it was just absolutely insanely viciously brutal, and I don't mind tough but fair. I don't mind a little hargy bargy. I don't mind bump drafting. Like, I can usually work through it, but it was so I
Yeah.
got 39 incident points, and I usually pride myself as being someone who crunches numbers and not cars. So it just
Yeah.
sometimes
Yep.
all you can do is be thankful you finished. Like
Exactly.
So
Yeah, it's
yeah,
it's super
we're
rough
going to
running.
kick off this new venture of a Ray Esports slow motion broadcasting team, and I don't know if we'll change the name or shorten it or do something.
We got to find something to do because that is a lot of letters. That's a lot of letters,
I
Stevie.
know it. And Adam's been doing some paints for us, so yeah, we're going to start kind of like the Frito Sport guys do. We're going to have a Ray Esports slow motion team. So
are you gonna put my name on the car with your guys's?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, if you race with us, Keri,
So we're-
whoever's racing in that event, their name goes on that car.
You
Yep.
tell me when to show up for practice, and I will be there.
All right. Sounds good.
awesome.
Well,
There you
make
go.
a note.
I'll
All
put in
right.
the work.
First
We gotta-
recruit, let's
and-
go.
We got to make a Discord, Jason. We got to get it. We got to get on it right now, man.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
come on.
Waiting to see it the
Let's go.
other
Rather than
day.
later.
Yeah.
You don't have the whole plan, like what minutes my stint starts.
Yeah,
already?
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Come on.
All right, so we're going to back up, and since everybody's already got to know Keri, we're going to back up and introduce her. But Keri Anderson, we found in the Ray Esports Club Racing League, and she runs with Darren Ganji and the Slow Motion guys, and they pointed her our way, I think. And it's been great to have you. And I don't think you'll mind me saying it, but she's the better half of Team Anderson. Her and her husband both race sim, and I think I heard they were back to back. Your sim rigs or something?
Yeah, yeah. Do you want to see?
Yeah.
I'll show
Yeah.
you.
Yep.
Yeah.
So we have
He's
this little
the other side
curtain.
of the curtain.
Yeah.
I love
And
it.
he's got
Awesome.
Nordschleife, and I have Laguna Seca above my sim.
Okay. Awesome. So yeah. Great to
Epic.
have her come in tonight and share some time with us, and appreciate you taking time out to do this, Keri. We always always great to get a different point of view from different guests from various parts of real world and sim racing. So always like to start off, and I don't know if you've seen the podcast, but I'm going to ask you, where you're sim racing, what happened? How did you get started in sim racing? And I'm guessing that progressed into the real world and or
No,
affected, no, the real world and sim or yeah, awesome. So yeah, tell us about it. How'd you get started?
yeah, so I was a banker lady. I was a like one size Swiss Army knife banker lady. So I was a loan officer, but I was also a teller, and I worked in a small credit union. And a man walked in one day and wanted to cash a huge check. Like it had 5 digits in it, and I was like, oh my gosh, what did you like? I have to ask some questions, but this is not off the record. I noticed that the subject line says 1980 something Nissan SX. This is a lot of money for an 80s Nissan. Like I have to know more. Like, can you tell? Like, can I see a picture? And then he asked me if the Miata in the parking lot was mine, and then introduced me to autocross, and it just snowballed in an insane
Yeah.
way. So within months, I already had a roll bar and new dampers and a sway bar in my Miata, and had already tried both rallycross in the snow and autocross. And I wanted to do like track days and stuff, but I wasn't like super confident yet. And so a friend of mine invited me out to go pit crew for a chump car team where I met a man named Ian Anderson. And he got out of the car, it was a Miata, and took off his helmet, was all just beaming and happiness like he is anytime he gets out of a car and takes his helmet off. He glows like a pregnant woman, okay? And and that wasn't how we fell in love. We genuinely were friends that started this was 2014. So we started that was when we like entered each other's orbit, and we started just crossing paths. Like it wasn't really all that intentional, right? But my career didn't pay me the money I needed to go racing. I didn't have the time off to go racing, and I was in college in a master's program, and so I didn't really have a ton of time, and so I just didn't do the racing I wanted to do. And I had a mentor by the name of Gama Aguilar, who at the time was an entrepreneur demoing an app called Track Attack. And so I met him at an HPDE that I was prepping to be able to rent the seat for the first time in 2015. And so snowball from there, 3 more years of like the same it's exactly what you'd imagine of me trying to get seat time, buying thousands of dollars in tires and brake
Yeah.
pads and fuel, running out of money, and still feeling like I just was missing something to feel really confident strapping in and like going to battle wheel to wheel. And so I talked to my mentor Gama, and he basically said, um, there's this whole you could change your career to try to find some alignment between your passions, and then he told me about sim racing and using it as a supplemental tool. And at the time, I thought sim racing was stupid and not at all real
Hmm.
and
Yep.
relevant or irrelevant. And I had no
We've never
trust
heard
and no
that.
faith that
Never heard that.
anybody with a reset button is capable of the mindset that this what we're doing is real and it matters, and that decision making, and so I really had no faith. And so long story short, fast forward, that was in 2018, so 4 years into my journey of feeling stagnant and plateaued. And it's been several more years because that was 2018 since then. And this is really the first year that I feel like I'm finally everything has added up. And so truly the simulator, since we bought our first simulator, we bought it end of 2019, and then COVID hit and prices of
Hmm.
everything skyrocketed, and we lasted about 6 months sharing a sim rig, my husband and I. um if
That's a really long time. I'm surprised y'all held off for that long.
if you're a couple and she tries it, she likes it, just build her a sim rig. Don't
Yep.
don't share accounts, don't share Garage 61, like,
Yep.
just get her set up with everything. Anyway, so we built a second sim, and it took a lot it took me, like, 5 hours in an MX-5 at Laguna to even get my first lap time because it was just
Yep.
dashes over and over and over for hours, and it's hard. It's really hard being someone who learned how to drive by feel because I live in a snow belt in the Pacific Northwest where getting 4 feet of snow overnight isn't unheard of. So
Hmm.
so I learned how to drive in this very like just by the seat of the pants feel. So I felt really disoriented for a long time, and I finally feel like I'm getting close to being as fast in the sim and as aware of what's going on around me and everything. Although the perspective is still really narrow, and so I'm more conservative than I'd like to be. Um,
Yeah.
but I definitely I've been inspired for a very long time to try to be at my husband's level. So to even be considered at his level is like a huge compliment to me, because I have this imposter syndrome of I'm not there yet, and I don't know if I'll ever be like good enough for myself, kind of thing. I'll always be maybe a little hungry, but um I'm definitely, between the two of us, the more curious and always trying to figure out, okay, what's next? Like, how do I grow from here? How do I feel like I beat that as a dead horse kind of thing. Like, I've done that and I've gotten what I can. So now what? And I think being part of a community like this, where people are leaning into the simulator as a tool and a supplement to what's real, and it's so different from the Daytona 24. Wasn't as satisfying as it should have been or could have been, had it been, if I could do a 60 car field with this community doing the Daytona 24, it'd be a whole different ball game. So anyways,
Oh,
it's been a long
Jason's
journey
scratching
with
his
finding
beard.
this.
That's a good idea. I mean, that's a good idea. I never thought about doing something like that. That's I'm sure
I'm
we could fill out a
drafting
field.
and
Um,
everything like
yeah.
Redline, Team Redline style, like
Mhm.
people that I can trust. Like, hey, I don't want to hold GTPs up, but I want to drive a GT3 car in good faith that I can race to.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I
Yep.
want my race to matter. I want your race to matter. I want you to enjoy your race. If I see P1 of GTPs coming up behind me with P2 on his tail, I am not going to get in the way. But if
Yeah.
I, like, I also expect them, if they see me having a battle too, to like, to the give and the take,
Yeah.
Keri,
And so,
can we hit on that real quick, Jason?
yeah.
I think you've got some things to say about this as well.
Oh yeah.
During the 24, driving the GTP, because this was my first time in a GTP. Normally, I'm a GT3 guy through and through. That's what I've been driving most of my iRacing career. GT3s, GT4s, TCRs, all that stuff. Those are the ones that I like. But I put myself into the GTP, and I saw a different side of the lens this time. And I found out very quickly that when you're trying to get out of the way in a GT3, you're getting more in the way. But also, there's a fine balance there, because sometimes when you're side by side, say going through the S's after turn 1, what do you do? I mean, at that point, that's a very tough thing to do, or through the kink in the infield. Like, it's tough. It is really tough to try to make those decisions, because I've been in both sides of it now, and that's why I was so worried about and I was so easy on passing GT3 cars in my first stint, because I was there. But then I'm watching these P1 guys and the GTPs just go blasting through there.
Yeah.
So
But,
I think that racing with a spouse helps. Because you'll find a way to get, like, if he's in a GTP and I'm in a GT3 and we're going through, we always find a way. So why can't they?
Right.
They can. They have to be motivated to leave you enough space.
Yep. Yeah, and that's why I hate driving GT3s when they're prototypes. I with the old team that I ran with, we always did GT3s, and I always got taken out by prototypes.
Right.
Just simply sometimes just due to netcode, just because they're going so fast, they leave so little room that netcode says we hit, but we didn't hit, that kind of thing, and then we get damaged and they don't. So yeah, that's super frustrating for sure.
On both sides.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, those GTPs are not narrow cars either. All right, so there's that as well. I did not realize, because you sit in the middle of a car at a GTP, you've got a bunch of room on both sides that you don't even realize is there. And I'm sitting back there looking at some of our incidents. I was like, holy shit, this car is wide compared to the GT3s or the LMP2s.
And everything in the front's breakable. Everything. When you're in a Porsche, the front end's not that breakable. Like, you can kind of bink bonk and gently bump things, and it doesn't really affect your race that much. But a GTP, I mean.
Yeah, I found that out.
Yeah, we both did. Yeah, the rear wings, they might as well be made out of paper. I found out very quickly.
Yeah,
so.
I went nose first into the wall at turn 1, and the entire front end fell off. So yeah, those cars are super fragile for sure. But yeah, that's always the fine line with like running in an official where you don't know any of the other drivers in the D24. So yeah, it's almost like a you have to memorize the other team's drivers. I think we found this out a little bit, Adam, where at least Tyler and I started like I guess stereotyping the other teams with
we did,
because it felt like all of the drivers for a specific team all drove the same way.
Yes.
So like if one driver was being super aggressive and making very questionable passes to get past LMPs or GT3s, I felt like every other driver in that team did that too.
That damn American flag car, dude. I cannot. Yes, I know exactly what you're talking about. That when that GTP came up, even trying to lap us, I was like, you can have it, dude, because he's either going to take it or run you off the road. One of the two.
Do you ever go look for them on Twitch to spy on them?
I've thought about
See
it.
if they're talking amongst themselves.
Yeah, and they're probably saying the same stuff about us. Like, why isn't he getting out of my way? I'm clearly faster. Like, I know, I get it.
So when you mentioned going through the 2018 and all that, when did you actually start sim racing?
So we saved up because the advice I received was if you really want to be serious about this and use this to supplement your seat time, you've got to buy at least at this level or higher. And at the time, sim motion wasn't really a thing, so I bought Fanatic stuff. But I had to save up because I didn't have anything. I didn't have a PC or nothing, so I saved up like $3,000. So it was like November 2019 is how long it took me to knowing I wanted and like had like a budget and parts kind of picked out versus like actually being able to afford to build it.
Yeah.
The first rig, because then we had to build a second rig.
Yeah.
If there's anything worse than having one spouse who likes to race, it's having two spouses. Like both of them. You get it. It's expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I would want to try to keep up to here.
I'm trying to get Sarah into it. So we got married in 2021, and Sarah allowed me. It didn't happen, but allowed me to put a wheelbase and pedals on our registry for her, and we didn't get it. But I don't think she would actually race. She wouldn't get into it. She's not a very competitive person at all. So it's.
I mean, that's okay. Like communities I've joined, I literally belong to a community called Two Drink Tuesday where they get together and drink and drive on Tuesdays.
Like, I think we've heard of it.
And they have free parking. Like as long as you don't move while people are coming, you can literally just stop anywhere and get up and go get yourself another beer. Or if she prefers, I'm kidding. I don't mean to like be enabling people to, but I mean, it's not everybody's gig. I can understand that.
Right.
I'm like, not to offend anybody, but I say this very sincerely. I'm like autistic level of special interest. So people are like, what are your other hobbies besides racing? And my brain, like, you can start seeing the the forbidden smoke escape from my brain as it's trying to think of anything else I like to do besides walk my dog. Sometimes walk my dog at the racetrack.
Yep.
There are other things other than racing?
I've never heard of them.
Nope.
I don't want to hear of them either.
I actually do like surfing. I'm a beach bum.
Oh, you go. Well, that's something I've never done.
Yeah.
So, skateboarding, surfing, nope. I'm going to break myself, so it's not even worth it.
That's me in snowboarding.
I'm a skier. I am a skier. So, anyway, sorry, Stevie.
No, it's all good. What's your extra outside activities, Jason?
There are outside activities.
Thinking about race cars.
I can't believe how much. I mean, seriously, he does so much for us. He couldn't have anything extra because he does the highlights here.
Yeah, I don't even have time to do highlights for the club. Club racing league.
No.
So
He's in our leagues, does the highlights. He does this on Tuesday night. So yeah, I don't know how you would have any time to do anything else.
Stevie, I'm gonna have to take this from you for 1 second here, Keri, because
Go for it.
I
Go for it.
remember you. Well, you were just talking about kind of the other stuff you like to do. Have you ever tried doing anything in the dirt road or the dirt oval or the asphalt oval?
Oh, I see where this one's going.
Yep.
Okay, so here's the thing. I actually have hosted rallycross events in real life.
Okay.
I love driving off road. Have you heard of the Gelsaminos, Rhiannon and Alex Gelsomino?
Yes.
I took their Dirtfish Rally co-driving class. I also did the Dirtfish 3-day STI program, and I would sell a kidney to rally for 1 year. Like I would in a heartbeat. I have I pit crewed in last season for the 2-wheel drive Canadian Rally Championship winners. So rally, I think if money were no object and I wasn't scared of dying,
yes,
I'd be a rallyist. That's all. That's probably all I would ever do, because the smell of the morning, like 5 a.m. in the summer, like in the mountains with the trees and the dew point, that's. And this the sound that the trees make when you fly by them at like 90 miles an hour and you just hear the whoosh of the branches, that would be the rest of my life. Or like jungled coast of Mexico with the really slick mud, like clay roads that have like the rocks are part of the dirt road, and so you're just like jumping over these rocks and these logs, and if I mean, that's like my recession plan. Like if the world falls apart and I retire without money, I'm just gonna buy like a 2005 Kia and just drive it like I stole it in Mexico.
I like it. Well, I don't have that much real life experience, but there is a league that runs on Sunday nights, and it is very close to your Tuesday night league. A bunch of dudes get together. Well, not dudes anymore because Michelle Lynn is in there.
Yep.
Now, yeah.
Oh, Michelle.
So a bunch of people now, ladies and gentlemen, get together. We run all 4 series of racing over 16 races. So, yep. Most of us have drink. Yeah. You what?
Some practice to do.
Yeah.
Because a lot of those, it's kind of hard to shift them. Like for whatever reason, I've got to figure it out. But like I can't always get the cars to shift. So there's something.
This season is the Pro 4 truck. Last season it was the VW Beetle Light, but this season is the Pro 4 truck. So if that's something you're interested in, we're running the 410s.
And I was going to say the Outlaws, the 410s.
Yep.
On the dirt ovals.
Yeah, we're running the 87 NASCAR around the asphalt ovals, and we're running GT3s around the asphalt road on Sunday night. So if that's something you're interested in,
all right,
let me know.
4 races in each kind of.
I'll consider it in the abundance of my spare time, but I think I want to start practicing for Bathurst.
Oh, we need to do that. Jason, get that freaking Discord booted up, buddy. We gotta get on that.
Yeah, get the team going. And you had shots fired in the chat, Adam, from Mr. Trenton. He fired back.
Oh yeah, he goes, "Hey Adam, get better." Yeah, so Trenton decided to back up the podcast. He clearly had heard what I said. So, hey buddy, you know what the best part is about the podcast is you can't say what you told me the other night. So, I'll take the get better part, Trenton. We're gonna stop it right there. Sorry, Keri, we're getting away from you here, but
no, it's a lot of fun tonight.
I gave him a hard time first. Would you have highlighted him? Were the highlights already picked out before this?
Oh yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I did call him out first.
Yes.
Yep.
And you know what's funny is he was running an alligator paint job, and he was spinning in the wet. So hey, you need to change your paint job too, Trent.
I mean, let's be fair. If I were in his shoes, I don't know that I would have done better. So it's just fun to be jab, like with the stick, you know.
So, history of Sims, history of real world, what you're doing now. Where do you told us a little bit about where you'd like to go to with the rallycross. What kind of other plans are you looking forward to try to get to in the future, Keri?
Yeah, so this season is kind of a restructuring of our business while we transition from being a service department, a performance shop, where rather we're fabricators selling a product. And so that's kind of how I got connected with some of the other people kind of in this circle because I've been trying to I think I wanna campaign a car with the Super Tour or something like that leading up the ladder, and I'm
Mhm.
kinda thinking T4 because I'm broke, and, the thing that I know how to do is take a $4,000 RX-8 and make it fast. I can't make a Renesis any good, but they're already nerfing that car for that class, so,
Mm.
I this year is really focused on, I'm gonna take some DAG work because 'cause I'm a data nerd/engineer slash engineer student, so I do fly-in work, so I'd really like to meet some people out at the SCCA paddocks this year. I'd really like to focus on uh, quantifying for myself, being able to measure what makes a driver good and how do you measure getting better? Because every driver's different, and there's styles and interpretations of what the limit is and being just below it, right? And so understanding and expanding my awareness of different driving styles this year through data, which is one of my favorite things in all of the world. It's what I spend most of my time doing in any facet, and then using that to help understand where my style fits into this and where my gaps are, right? Because by the time I have money from the products I hope to sell this year and field the car, I'd like to be there. I'd like to be top half. That's, I mean,
Mhm.
I really like chasing. I don't care about as much winning maybe as I should, which is why I'm not like a big time sponsored driver. If I liked winning, probably be easier to get money. But
Mhm.
I really drive for the joy of it. And so it's to
Yep.
me like right finding people that I enjoy driving with. I feel motivated to drive my best when I know either A, I'm part of a team where I'm valued, which is where Bathurst comes in, right? Or B, I'm driving in a series where the people around me are glad I'm there and are glad to be racing me also. So whether, it's that good faith piece, whether I'm in front of them, they're not going to punt me to take my spot. Like
Yep.
I want the chase. Like I'm happy chasing, but I also want people who are happy to be chasing me, which sometimes that's hard to find.
It's a
So
fine
Sure.
line. Yep.
yeah, yep. So
Yep.
that's my goal for this year is to find people I like to race with, find people who help expand my understanding of what being a good driver means. That's my year.
That's awesome.
Those
You
are
got some,
that's those are some incredible goals.
Yeah.
yep,
Thank you.
Yeah.
some good challenges coming up.
Stevie,
I
I
want to
think
level up.
I know Trenton has a comment here for Keri. So
Well, sh- Keri should
Dish it.
join B
Dish
Specs.
it. Come on, Trenton, what you got?
yeah.
Keri should join B Specs. We also have T4 Mini S.
So, you may see me with Chris Taylor racing this year.
Ooh,
We have a
that
verbal handshake, but I
yeah.
don't have a plane ticket yet, so but
He's
let
had
me
a
just tell you, my heart agrees.
yeah.
I don't have money for a B-spec, but I would love to help some B-spec drivers get faster. Like, I wanna get good
He's
at it. I wanna understand what makes these cars fast and what
yeah.
makes the drivers consistently perform and, be able to take that away. I'm selfish. I do this because I wanna make myself better, but if I can help someone else get better,
Well,
so
you learn.
Yep.
it'll
Yep.
be fun.
Yep.
Yeah, it'll be fun. It'd be a fun challenge. So,
He's out of Texas too, isn't he?
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
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 So, closer to me than Florida.
Yep. Yep. Yeah. If you get
So,
down here, I mean, I'm in the Dallas Fort Worth. JG2's right here, close to me, about 30 miles away. So
Nice. Yeah, I'll
yeah,
let you know if I'm in the
we'll have to
area.
set something up. So
and
all right.
well, I got a question for Gary. So when you said you were doing like pit crew, is that
Yeah.
what you're mainly doing? Is just like the data stuff, or?
Yeah, so the data acquisition
Mhm.
and all the general troubleshooting if the technicians have any need for data. Hey, the car's running weird. What go scope the data and tell me if anything looks weird. Or things like that. Or like, hey, what was the coolant pressure? Because I think I have a pinhole leak in the radiator, or like the stupid stuff like that. But also, hey, what are my biggest opportunities this weekend from the drivers? So that's like, and then of course taking care of the driver lounge and like making sure they have water and so just kind of
Uh,
all encompassing.
that's cool. So like How does the data collection work? Do you just like uh what do you just like plug a USB into the car, or like how do you actually get the data for that?
That's what people pay me for. Yeah, I mean
No,
that's
no,
that's
I'm
exactly
not.
it. Like,
I was genuinely. I'm not trying to
yeah.
be.
No,
That
no,
might
no.
have come out wrong,
But
but
no, but
like
I'm saying that that question is why I have a job. If it was so easy that so every system's a little different. AIM dashes typically have Wi-Fi, but when they get hot, they're not
gotcha.
reliable. So on like a 95-degree day, sometimes I am taking a mini USB and plugging into their dashboard.
What?
Um,
Well, that's the thing.
yeah,
Oh
I mean
wow.
it's so. But I'm
And
also
you were laughing at
currently
me.
I
I'm
was.
currently testing a device. I can't share really anything about it, but
Hmm.
that enables like better connectivity, might hopefully streamline my process as an analyst. So I'm really excited to maybe discover tools, but I use whatever tool that the person who built the car put in the car. So I mean I can't count on my fingers how many different loggers I work with, and they all have. I mean, some you plug a USB into,
Hmm.
like the newest Solo DL2 or whatever. It can connect to the car, but you can't plug into it. There's no USB to plug into it.
Hmm.
So you can connect it to the network of the AIM dash, and then you connect as a peripheral device to the AIM dash, and then you access the. Anyways, it's weird. Every device is like a little different in how you access it.
Hmm.
And so figuring out what's reliable, what's not reliable, so that we have data retention.
Hmm.
Because it's often that the drivers will try to plug into their dash and it won't work as expected,
Yeah.
or whatever. And so but that how frustrating that is,
Hmm.
to be going, you're like trying to figure out, okay, I'm getting beaten qualifying by like half a second, and I think I can find that, and if I can find that, I can at least stay in the draft like half a second per lap. That would really
Yep.
help me not like open
Yep.
the gap. So anyways, yeah, I mean sometimes it's plugging in, sometimes it's like if they have smarty cams, I'm pulling the data, the telemetry data via Wi-Fi while I'm
Hmm.
plugging the memory card in and pulling all
Hmm.
the video, and then overlapping them, and you know and then
Yeah.
doing the analysis.
So,
That's
Keri,
what.
Jason has a question, and I do too. What systems, if you can, like systems, do you see? When you plug in, like what type of data, if you can share any of that, what type of data
Yeah.
can you see?
Yeah, so like the typical AIM, MXG, or similar type of logger, typically off of like the general OBD2 or early CAN cars. It's like 27 channels that you can see, and it's frustrating because like the ECU knows injector pulse width, right? So it shouldn't be that complicated to like math out how much fuel you're consuming. But the standard AIM stuff with the ECU bridge can't see it. So it's because of the OBD2 like communication
Right.
protocol. So CAN mapping is something that I'm new to. I'm actually testing out for petrol data via the uh, I think it's called MX Plus or whatever, just an OBD dongle, and then using the PIDs and the hexadecimal code conversions to CAN map all the other like however many hundreds or thousands
Hmm.
of channels are in the ECU that the AIM can't see. So this is still, I think, like a growing frontier at the entry level price point. I mean, Motec. The thing is, that's the thing is like a Motec has like hundreds of input outputs, whereas like an AIM only has maybe one or two dozen. So it just depends on the system. The average user who has like a few grand or less to spend is going to have maybe a couple dozen or a few dozen channels to
Yeah.
look through. Like they'll have, depending on what they like sensors and stuff, they'll have like oil pressure and oil temperature and coolant temperature. Sometimes they'll have coolant pressure. I like that. Like when they put wheels off and they get pinhole leaks, I spot them before they blow a head gasket the next session.
Yeah.
So it's just little stuff like that where I'm trying to keep them from going on track and have like wasting time when we could fix it ahead of time and try to keep them in the race.
Sure.
So the more data, I mean, I would spend $10,000 on data systems if I had it, but that's not always practical. So most of the time, as long as they have RPM, GPS speed, and then accelerometer, and like I'd love to see throttle and brake
Yes.
pressure. I can get those things, and steering angle, because then you
Mhm.
can start simulating like yachts and slip angle and things. You can understand and quantify those things
Yeah.
with just like those few.
Mhm.
Uh,
Yeah, because when you first like mentioned the data stuff, my what I pictured was like like the F1 teams where they're like they've got live data, and I'm
Yeah.
like, F1 probably has that, but I doubt I doubt any series under them probably has that. So that's why I was kind of
Sim racing.
I was
In sim
thinking,
racing, we have that because
that's true.
Garage 61,
Yeah.
you can pay for a premium subscription that
Hmm.
prioritizes your processing so you
Yep.
can see your live data more quickly.
Hmm.
And VRS is pretty quick also. And I spy on my husband. That's like in our wedding vows is you'll always give me your data. I kid him. But so like I steal literally all of his data, and so on the
In the
environment,
sim.
Yep.
Yep.
it's so much easier. Like the
Yeah.
sky's the
Yeah, it's
limit.
all there.
Everything's
Yep.
possible.
Yep.
So anyone interested in this, I know I'm like info dumping, but if you're really interested in this, the sim is the best place to learn how to be a race engineer
Hmm.
because
Okay.
there's no mechanics that have to get under the car to make changes. You just hit the button.
Yep.
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 One more question from Dan. The data you get, does it tend to stay accurate, or do you have to fix it
Calibrate.
sometimes?
Yep.
Yep.
So
Yep.
yes, so Garmin units have absolutely like just inaccurate GPS, especially if you have any carbon fiber, anything in the like above your doors. The GPS drifting is a common and frequent challenge where you start seeing it when you're analyzing sector analysis data and optimal data. It will start making an impossible number or stitching together sectors that aren't possible because of the GPS drift. So yeah,
Mhm.
I mean that's definitely when you're analyzing data, you have to be able to do a sniff test to be like, is this data junk? You don't wanna compare off of something that's literally not possible.
I imagine
All right.
that's frustrating
Yeah.
because track time is usually super limited in real life. So,
Mm.
Yeah.
um,
Or
yeah.
like Assetto Corsa. If you're trying to get
Mm,
telemetry data off Assetto Corsa, the GPS data is almost always junk.
Right.
So,
Mm.
Yep.
really
Okay.
yeah.
Yep.
I mean, not always, but
Mm,
just in the times I've tried it, but
Yeah.
interesting.
iRacing's a little more
It's
accurate.
better.
yeah, it was
Okay.
consistent. Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, as long as you don't get an abnormality or whatever where it
Yeah.
just eats all your data, but yeah,
Hmm.
I've data retention is top tier, I think, with iRacing.
Cool. Interesting. Really interesting stuff to hear. So I think we're getting close to the end. We've run over to 12 minutes or so, so about normal for us.
Yep.
But once again, thank you so much for taking time tonight, Keri, to join us. It has really been informative and fun. Really enjoyed having you around for the reviews and everything, and giving Trenton some shit and or some stuff.
You said it too, Stevie. You can't get mad at me anymore.
But
I
really,
give 'em a hard time, but I like this group. Thank you so much for inviting me and for making me feel welcome, and I truly feel like I found an excellent community, and I'm glad to be here, and yeah.
well, we appreciate it, and it's like I keep telling everybody, and I preach it day after day. It's people like you and Jason and Adam and the guys on track every week that make the leagues what they are. I one person can't make it happen. Everybody has to be there and do their part. So again, appreciate your efforts and support. I know you've offered a few times to help me with some of the spreadsheets and stuff, and
Yeah,
appreciate it.
and I love to
And
do it. I offer
okay,
because
yep,
that's my breed of crazy, so when I
yep,
offer it, I promise I'm not being passive aggressive, I'm genuinely like,
yep,
"Hey, I
yep,
made a" it's like a plate of cookies. "Hey, I made a spreadsheet. Do you
yeah,
want one?"
yeah, yeah. And it's part of it's just figuring out what I need and
Yeah,
how to ask it. So yeah,
yeah.
so
So, let me
all
know.
right,
I'm here
we
as a
sure
resource.
will.
You let
I
me know.
sure will. So it's been a fun one tonight. Appreciate everybody showing up. Thanks, JG, once again for all your
Yep.
highlights and everything, all your support. Adam, you rocking the tech stuff back in the world, huh?
Yeah, we're
Computer
here
world.
now. We're back.
Yeah,
Hopefully all
yeah,
the
you're
sound got
back.
fixed. Sorry guys, it'll get better every week. I promise.
All right. So, and then hopefully I'll get my computer back up and going soon. So,
Yeah.
with that said, I think we'll call that a wrap on episode 21. So, thanks everybody. We will see you next week.
Bye,
See y'all
guys.
next week.
Appreciate your time, Frank. This gentleman has done wonders for sim racing, the real world racers that come into sim racing or go back and forth. Frank's responsible to get some guys out on track. So without further ado, Mr. Frank Swartz, Grass Paddock Motorsports, tell us what you do. What do we call this thing? The Racing Line. I'm all out of sync. We got more people to deal with this week than what I'm used to. So thanks to my co-host Jason for joining us. Adam's back this week, and as you can see, we got a fourth sitting here. Megan Oversheet is already joining us to help us do some reviews and stuff. So thank you, Megan.
Let's go, Megan.
And help us. Good evening, Greg.
Good evening, gentlemen.
Hey, we're just getting ready to review the spec racers, and since we had an announcer in the waiting room, we thought we'd go ahead and bring you in.
Well, thank you very much.
There he is.
Hey, we got him.
Hey, Jason, we got you this time.
Cheers, guys. Thanks for having me.
We won't talk about the other.
Our special guest for the evening, Mr. Dave Ogburn, and for Dave to introduce you to these two knuckleheads, you got. Great to see you, Thor. Welcome to the fourth chair and the podcast this week.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. It feels surreal, like finally being able to talk to you guys. You know, I've been in this league for like 2-3 years, and yeah, finally face to face.
Yes, our first guest.
Jeff.
On the spot now, Jeff. Oh. So, welcome, Mr. Jeff Jacobson. Again. Great to have you here. Thanks for taking some time out to join us. We get to some fun part. That's why you're here, Jerry. This is our guest segment after the reviews. So thanks for sitting through with us and
that was fun.
And
thanks.
Yeah, it's some good racing. So, well, first of all, we gotta say thank you to Trenton for taking time to come join us. He's one of the hardest working guys I know, and you can look there in the shop behind him and get an idea of what he does. So as everybody sees, we've got Darren Ganji, and if you didn't know already, he is Mr. Sim Motion, where you can get all your sim rigs and equipment and everything. He's also the sponsor of that league we were just talking about.
Okay, go ahead.
Mr. Sean Ambrose, we go back forever, back to the very early beginning days of the Weekend Warriors, when it was broadcasted on another broadcast, GSRC, I don't mind saying it. Very good to us. And Sean was one of the producers, announcers, always great to talk with.
So, Mr. Edgar Sancinelli, Weekend Warrior, Frito Sport Racing. I don't know what all you do, but great to have you join us tonight, Edgar.
Yes.
I'm not saying shit. Oh, see, I literally. Whatever, I give up.
There you go.
I know you've had a mute for me. So,
Oh, for sure. Yeah, when you
yeah.
It's for the views when Adam and you were there. I mean, it's
yeah, it's
jeez.
Oh yeah.